So what can you say about that? You play absolutely awesome, you draw, you play a bit shit, and you win. It's all about. Welcome to Let's Talk Leeds with me, GWFM, and I'm joined as ever by my esteemed co-host, Mattinho Got Game. Say hello, mate.
Guys.
No Mike today, unfortunately, but we'll do his best to get through and give as good an account as possible. But we're going to change it up slightly. We're going to do a bit of a preview of the Brentford game. But before that, obviously, we're going to get back to the normal routine of reviewing the last couple of games against Sheffield Wednesday and Hull City. So, I suppose, Matt, a good place to start is that awesome performance against Sheffield Wednesday that was unrewarded, in my opinion. What did you think?
It's like, what else did we have to do to win that game?
Yeah.
Can't really attribute any blame for the goal. It was just one of those. If he hits that same shot another 99 times, it will not go in. That's just kind of like a 1 in 100 sort of shot.
Yeah.
So can't really attribute blame to there. But yeah, like I said, the stats say it all. We dominated possession. We had the majority of the chances. We played very well. Click got a very, very good goal.
Very good
to equalise. But yeah, I mean, it's just sort of one of those days. Really, it's like we did everything we needed to win except score that second goal. So
yeah. I made enough chances, didn't we?
Yeah. But end of the day, disappointing. But we got a point out of it. And on another day, maybe considering how lucky that, not so much luck. I'm not going to say lucky. I'm not going to say that their goal was lucky, but it was a very good goal. But on another day, it could have been, go really against us.
Yeah, I think it were an unavoidable goal to concede sort of thing. When someone hits that and they hit it as sweet as they did, I suppose, because it just looped over at top of Peacock. It couldn't do anything. It hit nearly like the corner between the post and bar, and it's just like I said, an inch higher, it might have hit the bar and maybe changed the direction, it might have come out. I don't know, but I saw a post on Twitter and it said, it won't do it again, and it showed that they actually showed 2 other times he scored screen pies basically from about a similar sort of distance, but just more central. So he has got history, so you've got to give it benefit of doubt. Maybe he's that sort of player who can score those goals when you need a goal at a bit of magic. Maybe he's that sort of player for them. But otherwise, like you said, I mean, we were shit out, weren't we? I mean, we dominated. I think we had 71% possession. That we had 25 shots. It was just that the how clinical we were that let us down, basically. I think we had 3 cleared off the line. We hit the post thanks to Barry Douglas's shoulder. And yeah, it was just one of those games where you felt like singing, "What I gotta do to score a goal," but it just never happened. Never came to fruition, unfortunately. Who would you say is who would you say was the top performer, Matt, in that game?
I'd probably have to go with Click, because he's been absolutely superb so far this season, and he seems to be everywhere. He can pick a pass. He can obviously score some fantastic goals as well. So kind of hard pressed to find anybody else. I don't think there was anybody who stood out glaringly as bad, but in terms of good, there were a couple of good performances, but I think his was the best one.
I think I have to agree with that 100%. He stood out like a sore thumb amongst a very good performing team. And like I say, I think other than trying to think who actually who put a shift in. I mean, if people might have criticised, I think Tyler Roberts, he got quite a bit of criticism. Obviously, we'll get onto that later on in the whole game review. But yeah, I think like you say, you can't fault Peacock Farrell. I think he had I think the defence played very well. Pontus Jansson and Cooper both played very, very well because they had nothing. They couldn't do anything about the goal, but they dealt with everything else. So there's several players who I think were in the running for the man of the match, but I think, like I said, Click just run the show. Simple as, basically. So yeah, that's all I can really say about that one. I suppose we might as well move on to the most recent game, which is literally just happened finished about 20 minutes before this point, and that was a game against Hull City, which, in my opinion, was a little bit of a dull affair. I don't know whether you'd agree, Matt.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we had the possession. We had. I'm looking at the stats now. We had 67% of the possession, 11 shots, but only 1 on target.
Yeah,
that just kind of sums it up a little bit. Tyler Roberts scores a fantastic goal. He shook up his man, found a bit of space. Just kept it, bit of a daisy cutter, hit it low, hard.
Yeah,
as you said, the way
long
I like
and hard,
it.
just how you like it. Yeah, that's the one.
But it wasn't
from a deep position.
Git.
Oh, oh, yeah, sorry.
But it wasn't a standout performance, was it? I think we're lacking a bit of clinical finishing in front of goal, where like our key ball move would probably be. I think some of our passing was a little bit sloppy. It was one of those games where you can kind of look at it and say, we didn't play our best, but we got a result.
Yeah.
So 3 points is 3 points. They're not always going to be stellar performances, but it wasn't one of our better ones, but happy to get the 3 points.
Yeah, sign of a good team, isn't it? When you get a bad performance and get the result. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's obviously been criticism and whatever. I thought Tyler Roberts were absolutely outstanding. And people might say, well, what the fuck's he done? And I'm like, well, if you watch him, the amount of link up, I mean, the chances we created where Aliska got in behind and put it wide, little like chest down or little flicks through to play him in, first time balls. He was bringing all sorts of players into play, basically. So he's got good strength, he holds it up well, and he's got a good little bit, he's got a great turn of pace, really, to be fair. Run the channels quite well. And I think he only had the one shot, I believe, and he scored. I can't think of another shot he had. It was, I think Barry Douglas missed one when he put it over at bar when it was easy to score with his 1-star weak foot. And and then obviously Alioski had the glorious opportunity. Click had that decent opportunity. Going to stick up for him, say it was on his weaker foot. That's why he missed. But it looked like, it felt like it was going to be one of those games. And when we got the goal, obviously it was getting, and everyone were buzzing and thinking, right, they're going to open up now and give us more space in behind. It just never seemed to happen, did it? Just didn't seem to. We didn't create anything after we scored the goal. Nothing of real note. And to be fair, my ass started to twitch. It was like 50p, 20p again. And it's like, what the friggin' hell? We're going to get sucker punched here. And there was that chance when there were a free kick that were played in, and it started like pinballing everywhere in box. I thought that could go anywhere. And fortunately, we held on it. We cleared it away, and then we held on. And that's the first time, I think, this season when I felt like we've been holding on, apart from, you could argue, Middlesbrough. But I think otherwise, that's the first time I've actually been really nervous going to the end of the game. I'm not sure the subs were right. I mean, obviously, Dallas had to go to left back because that's a concern. Barry Douglas going off injured. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, it was just like, Forshaw came on and I thought it was absolutely woeful. I don't know what your thoughts were on that matter.
I don't know if he fits into this system. He's not quite in the same mold as a Calvin Phillips kind of role he plays, but at the same time, I think Click's a bit more dynamic on the ball, moving the ball forward with his feet and the passing as well. So it's kind of hard to find an area where he really fits in and where his sort of skill set is actually going to be of proper, value to us. I mean, he's a good player. He showed it last season. He was our better player through the second half of last season, but I don't know, in this system, maybe I'm not going to say beyond him, but maybe he just doesn't have the particular skill set to get a position and make it his own, so to speak, if that makes sense. So, I mean, the funny thing about it was with what's his name? Sorry, Barry Beckham, Barry Douglas,
Barry Chuckle, rest in peace.
Barry Douglas going off and Dallas coming on to replace him. We had
no. I'm going to say he were already on one. He'd just come on, but he switched and brought on Shackleton to go right wing, which I was kind of surprised it put Jack Clark on, if I'm honest with you. But anyway, sorry, I continue.
Yeah, like if Barry Douglas has gone off injured, we had Pearce on the bench.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised about that.
So a little bit surprised that they're kind of shuffling the defence around.
Maybe it's an element of trust, maybe he thinks he's actually good enough and it's a case of, I don't know, like I said, why put him on the bench?
Exactly, yeah. If he doesn't trust him, why is he putting him on the bench? I mean, Shackleton did have a good game when he played it. Was it Swansea he played against?
Yeah, it was Swansea, yeah. He got an assist, didn't
he? Yeah, he was very good, but I think if
I
you've
felt
got a left
nervous,
back...
Yeah, he came on. I just felt like we lost something when he came on. I don't know why. I don't know whether you agree or not.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just I don't think he really fits into the system. I think it's tough because we don't have another. I think with the Phillips role,
They're still
Ronaldo
struggling
Vieira,
to find someone, aren't we?
yeah, someone else to fit in there. I think Ronaldo Vieira would have been very, very good for that role, but I think he's not as dynamic as Click in his passing. I don't think he's as dynamic as Phillips either, because Phillips is a very good passer of the ball. So it's kind of hard to find a place for him, and it's kind of like trying to shove a round peg into a square hole, or vice versa. So maybe he's still getting up to speed with the system. I don't think he's made many starts this season, if any. I can't recall any time he started, barring maybe a cup game.
We're in about Shackleton still.
Sorry, I was on about Forshaw.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, never mind.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah. He hasn't started this season. No, I don't think he started. I think most he's got were a second half.
Yeah, but with Shackleton, it was again a bit of a puzzling one because I didn't quite see what happened because I've been buzzing out. I missed the actual Tyler Roberts goal because I told you about this. I missed the Tyler Roberts goal because I went for a Wes. But I think with Shackleton, he's come up to the first team. It's his first time sort of maybe in this environment this season. So he's probably still getting up to speed. It's quite a high intensity sort of system. So, I think he'll come good. And the thing with youngsters is that sometimes they're not as consistent. That sort of stuff they build as they go on. They get to become more consistent and so on. So I'm not too worried about that. But like I said, overall performance-wise, it wasn't the best, but we got 3 points. So,
and that's the main thing, I suppose. That's what's to take from it. Who would you say your man of the match was?
You mentioned Tyler Roberts.
I did earlier,
yeah. Who did very well. I thought Click played well.
First half, I thought he was very impressive. Yeah. Probably the best player in the first half. I agree with that.
But it's like you said we have a Twitter chat that we kind of talk on. Like you said, he went missing. Yeah, he went missing a little bit in the second half. Yeah. But I mean, I'd probably be inclined to give it to Roberts. Like he said, his hold-up play was very, very good. He's sort of deceptively strong, he looks like.
Yeah.
He's quite a strong guy, a big guy. He's got plenty of pace. He ran the channels. He held up the ball well. He linked up play well. That little link up from, I think, was it Click who played the through ball for him?
I think it was. He laid it off for Alioski. It was beautiful.
It was. So I think he's growing in confidence and he's getting better and better and better. But it'll be interesting to see what happens when Roof comes back. But for me, I think he just edges the man of the match.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think, like it's a Click, I think, where the standout performance first half, that is just seemed to go missing a little bit in the second half. I think there seemed to be a lot more long balls played in the second half. That's probably why, because the game probably bypassed him a lot. I mean, yes, there were still obviously the passes into the middle, what have you, but the only short pass I seem to remember in the second half, in particular, to Phillips or Forshaw when he came on. So maybe the game just bypassed him a little bit, not necessarily his fault. But yeah, I just thought in general, Roberts' hold-up play and just link-up play in general, I thought was very, very good. Pressing, did a lot of pressing as well, so I was very impressed by that. Kind of like a little bit of a poor pun there as well with the Preston press, but anyway, shut up, G. Move on. It's I suppose on that note, moving on, we're going to move on to the preview of the game against Brentford. It's a dinner time-ish kickoff, isn't it? If I remember right.
It's a 12:30 kickoff, actually.
It is indeed, yeah. So, I've got a page up here with some stats as to how Brentford have been getting on, and we're at home. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes, we are. Now, interestingly, it's Brentford's home form that have allowed them to do so well because they haven't actually won a game away from home yet. According to this, I don't know if this includes a recent 1-1 draw they've just had tonight, but it says they've won 0 away. They played 5, by the way, drawn 3 and lost 2. So the odds there are in our favour. However, we thought the same probably against Birmingham City, so it's not to be sniffed at. It's just like, oh, we're going to turn up and piss all over them. Like probably tonight, to be fair, against Hull, which scraped a 1-0 win basically, long and short of it. But Brentford have been dangerous at the beginning of the season, and the main man, the danger man, is Neil Maupay. I think that's how I pronounce it. He's actually got over a goal a game per 90 minutes. He's got 9 goals in 8 matches so far, one of them being a penalty. So he's in a rich vein of form. And yeah, I think he's obviously going to be highlighted as a danger man. I don't know how you're feeling about the game this weekend.
It's going to be a tough one, I think. Don't think there's any easy games in the Championship. But yeah, I mean, they've not been, like you said, they've not been brilliant away from home. Ellen Road's not an easy place for anyone to go to. It doesn't matter whether you're in Championship or if a Premier League team comes there. Everybody says it's one of the toughest places to go to in the country.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they had a really good run of form, but I don't know. They drew tonight against Birmingham, and Birmingham for the last 25 minutes were down to 10 men. Right. So I don't know whether that's just indicative of maybe Birmingham's form recently has started to pick up a little bit. They took a bit of confidence from beating us, but yeah, I think it's going to be a tricky game because they're obviously going to be aware that they've not won away from home, and what better place to do it? You know, being top of the league, at least at this point anyway.
Cup final time.
Yeah, maybe paints a bit of a target on our back, so to speak. So teams are going to definitely maybe kick it up a gear and try and do it in our own backyard, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, I think the opening goal is going to be key.
Yeah.
Considering what happened against Birmingham, I think that might play on our mind just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a tad.
I think if we get that early goal and, you know, we sort out our passing, because I think it's been a bit slack over the last 2 or 3 games on occasion, I think we can definitely get a result there, but it's not going to be an easy one. I think just looking at their form, I don't think we can just say, oh, they've not won away from home, we're going to walk this game. I think it's going to be a tough game, but I do think we can come out and get the 3 points.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, just based on recent form, because I think they've struggled of late. I think they've got 3 games. I don't know if it, like I said, I don't know if it includes tonight's performance. It's either 3 or 4 games without a win at this point. So then you could argue poor form. We're not on the best of form, really, if you include all the draws and obviously the loss to Birmingham. But it's going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with regards Barry Douglas. I did read somewhere that someone thought it looked like a hamstring injury, which obviously is going to keep him out for at least, I'd say, 3 weeks at least, if it's just a strain, rather. Get my breath back. But yeah, it's the injuries are mounting up now, aren't they? We don't really know. We haven't really got like an actual. We haven't been given a day as such as to when they're going to be back. I.e., Roof and Hernandez and etc. Obviously, we know that Bamford's long term, and Izzy Brown apparently he's out until at least. Well, they said at least the middle of this month, didn't they? So he's going to be out for at least another 2 weeks, I guess. And then he's got to get up to speed. So it's unlikely he's going to be starting as well. So I don't think we'll probably see him until January sort of time, in my opinion. But yeah, it's obviously, like I said, the first goal is going to be key. And yeah, like I said, I just dread to think if we go 1 behind at home again because of what happened last time. Because it's a lot of teams seem to be parking the bus, holding it tonight for long periods. And I think a lot of teams are going to do that, and they're going to frustrate us. I think they've realised that, and that's the way they're going to set the teams up now against us. Only the top teams in the division, I think, are going to take it to us. Brentford might do that with the fact that they scored quite a few goals. Hopefully they might play into our hands, but obviously that's what Birmingham did and got 2 early goals. Well, 2 goals in the first half. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, moving on, I suppose. We're going to the predictions part now. Now, Michael isn't with us, unfortunately, today, which means that, and I want to get the video edited and sorted tonight, which means there's not going to be any graphics, so apologies for that. You might not give a shit, to be fair, but, you know, we'd like to think it's a nice little touch. But, in terms of predictions of the last 2 games, I've got the scores down. In fact, I need to go back a couple of pages here for the actual scores that were predicted. For the Sheff Wednesday game, Matt, what did you say? Do you remember? Or do you need me to remind you?
Did I say 2-0?
You did say 2-0. I said 1-0, and Mike was actually the winner with a correct score prediction of 1-1. So, well played, Mike. And that actually took him into the lead 5-4-4 at this point. That's after him being sure it was like 4-3-0 or something at one thing. He was the nil.
Yeah.
But then obviously tonight we've won 1-0. Matt, do you remember what you said in that game? Or this game, should I say?
I can't quite recall.
You said 3-1. So you said 3-1. Mike said 3-0. And I am actually the closest with a winning score of 2-1. So because of that, the scores are now... Let me just get to the page.
What are the scores, George Dawes?
Yep. We've got myself and Mike on 5 points and Matt on 4. So, Matt, what the hell's happening? Need to get your prediction game back on.
Same things with my bloody hackers recently. They've all been crap.
Yeah. It's you getting overconfident with this, the sultry passing. Well, Chef Wednesday, for instance. But saying that, you already did the prediction before, didn't you? But never mind. So I suppose that's moving on. We don't actually have a prediction from Mike, but we might have to get one and put it in next time. But yeah, predictions for the next game against Brentford.
Pain.
What's your prediction for the fight? Pain. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, go.
I think it's going to be a tight one. Like I said, it's
first goal. How you like it? Yeah, in your endo. Go on. Sorry.
I think considering they have, the front guy, was it
Neil Morpay or whatever he's called.
Yeah, Sharpay, whatever he's called.
Yeah.
He's been in very, very good form. I think maybe he will get a goal, but I think that win will give us a bit of confidence tonight, and being at home, hopefully, will give us a bit of advantage. So I'm going to go 2-1.
2-1. Right, I'm going to actually say, I'm same sort of vein as you. I think it's going to be a Leeds win. Because you said 2-1, I'm going to say 3-1 because I was going to say 2-1 and I can't choose it. Knob. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to say 3-1. I think, like I said, Marpay will probably get another goal. And yeah, hopefully we'll already have scored 2 or 3 before he gets that goal. That's going to be my prediction for that. So it'll be interested to see what you guys think in the comments below. Leave your predictions below, whether you think we're going to go up as champions. Oh, not probably not, because obviously as it stands at the minute, we're top of the league. Obviously West Brom have got to play at this point, so by the time this video goes out, it might have already changed. We might have to wait and see, but I think that game is going to be crucial in the coming weeks. I can't remember exactly what it is that we're playing West Brom, but I would imagine that's going to be a key game. We are going to be back, I think, after that game against Brentford, probably similar sort of time next week. Actually, no. There's a bit of an issue here because I'm actually away, so I haven't fully decided what's going to happen. I'll have a chat with Matt afterwards. But basically, I was debating trying to do it on my phone. I'll be sat in a car, and that's all you won't be able to see. You won't be able to see Jack Harrison or Tyler Roberts or Bielsa there and Big Bad Bazza at the side of me. Might be an improvement, just not seeing them. I don't know, but yeah, either doing that if I can do it. It depends on the internet where I'm going to be, and also the other alternative, I suppose, is to do a short one by myself after the game, or maybe the day after, because I won't be back until a week on Sunday, so I'm not sure whether people are going to be interested 2 weeks after the game because it's an international break. We'll have to wait and see. I haven't decided fully yet. It might change because obviously if we're doing a preview, it might be worth thinking about. We'll talk about it anyway. But yeah, I suppose that brings us to the end of this video. I suppose it's pimpage time. So go ahead, Matt.
You know what I do? I race things.
You race things.
Various games. Project Cars is the main one. It's started new Forza 4, which is a lot of fun. Seto Corsa, Competizione, just lots of different racing games, and I'm still debating. I've decided I'm not going to come back for my Football Manager series because there's no point now. Yeah, but what I might do is do Billericay again for FM19 because they will start in the game. I won't have to wait a couple of weeks for a database to come out. So that's one of the options, but I definitely will be doing something Football Manager wise in the coming weeks. So if you're into that or you're racing games, then come hit me up.
Yep, and I will be continuing on Twitch. I've recently been playing pro clubs with a couple of other lads. Been a lot of fun and a lot of laughs. But otherwise, yeah, Football Manager 19 is coming out soon. I think the beta's out in a couple of weeks. So I'll most likely be starting
Is it
something
not out
then.
already?
Yeah,
I
I read it's 2 weeks time. I think the beta's out, and then
I thought the game was actually out. It'd been released.
What, FIFA has, yeah.
Oh, FIFA.
But football manager's not until like.
Oh,
4 weeks
sorry,
time.
I thought you were talking about football manager. You were talking about foot, and then
No.
Oh,
So yeah, football manager, the beta will be out in a couple of weeks. I'll probably end up starting something on that. But yeah, hopefully you can come across and join us on there. I think I've got the links in the description below. But yeah, hopefully you can join us for the next one. When we discuss Brentford, and then I don't even know at this point. I can't remember who we're playing after that. I don't know if you know off the top of your head.
It might. Is it that Blackburn game that's not going to be on anywhere?
Could well be, actually. You might be right. I know we were on Sky Sports Leeds, weren't we, for pretty much the next 6 games.
Yeah,
or something like that. So
it is that Blackburn
game. Yeah. So we'll be back. Hopefully, we'll do the Blackburn game, and you can join us for that as well. So yeah. Until then, we'll see you then. Bye bye.